Hello Wobblies, welcome to Wobbly Otter Outdoors. I'm Chris, and in this episode we're taking a look at 7 different neck knives. When carrying any knife, especially one that can be concealed, as in the case of a neck knife put inside of a shirt, be sure you are aware of and follow any local laws. Often a neck knife is a replacement for a pocket style knife. So what are some of the pros and cons of wearing a neck knife? Pros are it's very easily accessible because you're wearing it around your neck. Also, if you happen to be wearing clothes that don't have any pockets, you need a place to carry your knife. And also you might be wearing a backpack that has a waist belt that would interfere and make it uncomfortable to wear a knife on your belt. A neck knife is an easy, light way to have an additional knife with you. Some of the cons. If you're wearing your knife inside your shirt, then easy access isn't as easy anymore. Also, it usually takes 2 hands at least to place the knife back in the sheath. If you're not used to wearing a neck knife, it can bother you to have something around your neck all the time, and they do tend to bounce around a bit, so that can be a bother as well. And the ultimate potential con is, do you really want a sharp, pointy object bouncing around on your neck that close to your chest? The knives we're going to be looking at cover a wide range of sizes, so we're going to compare each of these knives on several different specifications and then see how each performs. This is a little Celtic knife by Toferner. Has basically a finger grip. Another more artistic type knife by Toferner. It's their Ram, because of the shape of the handle. A little small MTech. The Bowie style Minimalist by CRKT. The Benchmark Backpacker. A much larger boot knife or neck knife by MTech. And then the companion by More Knife. We measured and weighed all 7 knives, and we'll put those specs down in the description below. As far as blade length goes, for the smaller knives, 2 inches seems to be pretty common. 3 of the 7 have a 2-inch blade. The Toferner Ram, the MT-20-30, and the CRKT Bowie Minimalist. A quick note regarding the Celtic and the Ram, the name of the maker. Believe it is pronounced Toferner. In the video, I may have pronounced it Toferner sometimes, so my apologies. We think the correct pronunciation is Toferner. All of these knives are fixed blade knives, and the smaller 6 are full tang. The only one that is not full tang is the More knife. Now let's look at the blade steel. The 2 Toferners are made of the same steel. It is 14-260 spring steel. The 2 MTech knives are also made each of the same steel. They are 440 stainless steel. The CRKT Minimalist is made of 5 CR15 MOV carbon steel. The Backpacker is made of 420 stainless steel. And the More knife is made of stainless steel. For handles, the 2 little Toferners don't have any type of scales. They are their 14-260 spring steel. The little MTech 20-30 has G10 handles. The CRKT Minimalist has resin-infused fiber. The Benchmark Backpacker has black micarta scales. The MTech 8035 has black micarta. The More knife has a rubbery textured grip. So let's look at the grips. This little Toferner, the way that it seems to work easiest to feel like you have a good grip is you can put your finger through it and hold it that way. I've found that actually what I've been doing is putting my middle finger through it and then holding the top of the blade, the back of the blade, between my thumb and 4th finger. And that makes it a very solid, easy to hold and easy to control little blade. Things I changed on this sheath. When it came, the leather was pushed through just a center hole, and I didn't want it to be dangling on edge. So I used a leather punch to punch 2 additional holes on either side of that, so the leather strap could go in that way and lay flat. Another thing added to this little Celtic is adding the little breakaway snap to the strap. Little knife fits all the way inside the sheath with none of the knife sticking out past it. The sheath is relatively thick. The Toferner Ram also fits all the way inside the sheath with none of the knife sticking out. The sheath is a fold-over style. Both of the Toferners are more of an artistic approach to a neck knife. The Celtic has a Celtic knot cross stamp, and the Ram has a little spiral stamp. For the Toferner Ram, it seems to work best to slide your index finger in between the back of the blade and the beginning of the spiral of the ram horn, and then wrap the rest of your fingers around the handle. It has a wide enough spine that it's very comfortable to rest your thumb on the back, on the spine, and use that for control, and then it feels fairly secure. The little MTech 20-30, very small little knife. It has a finger notch right behind the blade, and the rest of the handle has some notches at the back. The back of the spine has notches in it also, which makes it easier to grip and hold. It's a little short. The Columbia River, an extraordinary design. There are 3 finger grip notches, and then it comes with this braided paracord fob on the end. So you have something to wrap all your fingers around. On the back of the spine, it has grooves which give you a nice place for thumb grip. So the CRKT, really, really nice to hold. The little backpacker by Benchmark. It has a smooth handle in all aspects. Back of the spine has no grooves. There are no grooves anywhere on the handle. It does have a nice swooping grip, which makes it easy to hold on to. Very, very comfortable in the hand because you have something to wrap all 4 fingers around, a handle that's actually long enough to wrap all 4 fingers around. The MTech MT-20-30. It has a curved handle. There are ribs on the back of the spine, giving you a nice, good thumb grip. It's an incredibly wide spine, so there's a lot of space to rest your thumb on. The Mora knife. Okay, simply by its size, the Mora knife handle, easily the easiest one to hold. Also, it has the rubberized grip, so in any conditions, even if it's wet out, you feel comfortable holding onto it. It has a textured grip, and it has the flattened spot near the front of the handle, near the back of the blade. That's perfect for resting the thumb. The 2 little Toferner knives come in a leather sheath that comes each with a strap. The sheaths for both the MTech knives are Kydex. The CRKT knife has a Zytel sheath. It is glass reinforced nylon. The little Benchmark backpacker has a molded nylon sheath. And finally, the Mora knife has a plastic sheath. The Toferners are made in the Czech Republic. The MTech knives are made in the USA. The CRKT Minimalist is made in the USA. The Benchmark is made in China. And the Mora knife is made in Sweden. Of this group, all come with some sort of strap. The only 2 that didn't are the Mora knife and the Benchmark. When wearing a neck knife, it's probably a good idea to have a strap that has some sort of breakaway mechanism. This little ball chain for the MTech could break relatively easily when put under enough force. You can also add a little breakaway popper. These are little plastic poppers that you can put on the end, either end of the strap, and then they snap together, and with much pressure at all, they break apart. On the Benchmark backpacker sheath, it also has a loop attached to a built-in carabiner. This is not a weight-bearing carabiner, but it would let you attach it to things like a backpack. 3 of the sheaths have some sort of belt clip. Those are the Benchmark, the larger MTech, and the Mora knife. Sometimes people will purchase one of the smaller neck knives to use actually as a belt mounted knife. They will put paracord across the loops on the sheath and then slide their belt through that. Here's the pricing at the time of this video. The little Toferner Celtic is $31. The Toferner Ram, $32. The smaller MTech, the MT-20-30, $11. The CRKT Minimalist Bowie knife is $23. The Benchmark Backpacker, $16. The MTech Extreme, their MX-80-35 is $17. And the Mora knife companion is $15. So general thoughts? The 2 little Toferners, as long as gravity is in your favor, the knives aren't going to fall up out of the sheath. If by chance you did get them upside down, the little knives are so light, they don't come out. The MTech 20-30. It's a good knife for small jobs. The slimness of the handle makes it hard even for me with my small hands to hold on to. There are some pocket knives I have that are actually easier to hold on to. Probably the best overall neck knife in this group is the CRKT Minimalist. It's incredibly lightweight, very easy to grip handle, has enough of a handle that you can grip and hold on to it very well. Of this group, the three heaviest are, of course, the three larger ones. The Mora knife is incredibly lightweight. Of these three, for what you get, go for the Mora knife. Of all of them, the MTech MT-20-30 is easily the heaviest and bulkiest. The little backpacker, nothing at all wrong with the little backpacker. It has a very acceptable sheath. The carabiner and the nylon strap at the top, I'm not sure what I think about that. You could easily take it off if you wanted and then just put paracord through these top loops to wear it as a neck knife. But so that part's going to be a matter of personal preference and how you plan on carrying the knife. Comparing these two, they're very similar in weight. So if you have room and don't mind the extra size, then the Mora knife, of course, is the pick of these three. But for a nice, probably mid-range size for a neck knife, the little backpacker is a nice choice. The MTech MT-20-30 is just so heavy, bulky, and rattly, I just can't imagine wearing it as a neck knife. So why do we even have all these knives? Bill went looking for a neck knife, and because he hadn't tried out a neck knife before, he wanted to get one that was relatively inexpensive to see how he liked it. So he purchased the MTech MT-20-30. When he got it, it's nice and light, but the knife itself is difficult to hold because it's so small. But he decided that he liked the idea of a neck knife. So he went searching for a neck knife in earnest, and he selected the CRKT Minimalist Bowie. And he really likes it. He has used this several times and wears it on hikes when we're out camping and just around because it's a very light, easy way to have an accessible knife. So what was the purpose of getting the Toferner Ram? It looks cool. It's really pretty, has an awesome sheath, decent sized blade, not a bad deal. The backpacker he got because he thought it would be a nice way to have an extra knife and carry it actually on his backpack. And so having the carabiner, it made sense for him, and it was a decent sized knife. The monster, the MTech MT-20-30. The sole reason Bill got this one was to put in the door of Ike. He wanted something that was large, indestructible, that he could even use as a pry bar if he needed to, and the MTech fits that bill. The reason we're including the Mora knife in this group at all is because it's so light. It only weighs 4.1 ounces in the sheath. It's a nice, easy to hold, good sized knife, serves many purposes, especially if you grind down the spine, square it off, so you can start a spark with a ferro rod. And the only thing that might make it a challenge is it is rather large for wearing as a neck knife. And that brings us to this little guy, the Toferner Celtic. The reason I got this is because Bill got the Ram and I thought it was such a neat knife that I wanted to try a neck knife myself and decided to get the little Celtic. This isn't a paid promotional video. We purchased all these items ourselves, and we'll put links to everything down in the description below. Down in the comments, let us know what you think about neck knives in general, and if you have a neck knife and what you think about it. Thanks for watching Wobbly Otter. We love you and hope all your tomorrows are bright. Until next time.